lifestyle to make that happen. And our award winner this year is Sister Gracely Bozeman for perfect attendance. Photo. Good job. All right. We have a list of medals and trophies. We're going to try a little bit different order this time. We usually call up by the award. This year we're going to call up by the student. And so we're going to start in our K4 and move forward. Our first awardee is going to be Walker Adcock. And he is getting the Most Generous Award. All right. Tinsley Cooper. The Most Determined Award. Everly Brister. The Most Understanding Award. Samuel Adcock. The Most Kind Award. Stay here. Stay here. The Highest GPA in Spelling. And the Highest GPA in Writing. Paisley Forsyth. Most Compassionate Award. Jacob Ross Gilmore. The Most Polite Award. The Highest GPA in Phonics Award. And the Highest GPA in Reading Award. Good job. Asher Hall. The Most Generous Award. Salem Ingram. The Most Understanding Award. The highest, stay here, Salem, you got another one. The Highest GPA in Math Award. And Sister Evelyn Thrash is not here due to schedule conflict, has the Most Helpful Award, and she got the highest overall GPA trophy for first and second grade, Evelyn Thrash. And Evan Branning. This is going to be our third and fourth grade awards. Highest GPA in history. Jolie Ingram. Highest GPA in language. Highest GPA in science. And highest overall GPA for third and fourth grade trophy. Paisley Terry. Highest GPA in math. Anna Blair Ingram. This is going to be your fifth and sixth grade awards. Highest GPA in math. Cole Barber. Highest GPA in language. highest GPA in history, and highest overall GPA for 5th and 6th grade. Jillian Adcock. Highest GPA in English. This is 7th and 8th grade. Highest GPA science. Highest GPA in history. And the highest overall GPA 7th and 8th grade trophy. Chloe Kennedy. The highest GPA in math. Riley Ingram. This is our 9th and 10th grade awards. Highest GPA English. Cassidy Fedrick. Highest GPA science. Highest GPA math. Highest GPA for history. Highest GPA for electives. And the highest overall GPA for 9th and 10th grade trophy. I can hear you jingling. Lyndon Copeland. Highest GPA English. This is for 11th and 12th grade, by the way. Highest GPA Science. Highest GPA Math. Highest GPA History. And highest overall GPA for 11th and 12th grade. All right. At this time, I'd like Brother Belk to come. Brother Jeremy Belk was a previous principal for our school, and he's got some special awards he's going to announce. These awards involve people that have been in the school that have passed away due to circumstances, and these awards are in honor of these people. However, these people I did not know that well personally, and so I asked Brother Jeremy Belk, who did, to come and help me award these awards. Brother Jeremy Belk.
Thank you, Brother Cardwell. It's a privilege to be here this afternoon, and I'd like to congratulate all those with achievements and graduates, and you'll forgive me, I'm sure. Had I known which shoes to wear, I would have obliged you. So my apologies. There's a young man who touched a lot of lives in this area and very special to a lot of people. And it's Brother Ethan Bradley. That's the son of Brother Wesley and Sister Mandy Bradley. And due to circumstances beyond our control, he's no longer with us, but his memory is forever with us. And the Ethan Bradley Award is for the highest GPA in 5th and 6th grade science goes to Cole Barber. another young person who was very instrumental in a lot of lives. She actually enrolled in Pine Grove Christian Academy the ending of my tenure here as the principal of the school. And she also leaves a mark on all of us that knew her. And she is the daughter of my brother and sister Pope. The Hannah Pope Award is for the highest high school GPA in English, and it goes to Riley Ingram. The last award that I've been asked to present is the Diane Simpson Award. I don't know anyone that was not touched by Sister Diane Simpson. As most of you know, this is our pastor, Brother Copeland's mother-in-law, our First Lady, Sister Copeland's mother. What a wonderful matriarch of the gospel. And this award is in honor of exemplary conduct for honor, honesty, and effort. And this award is presented to Cassidy Fedrick.
Thank you, Brother Belt. This time, we would like to move our focus to the Pine Grove Christian Academy graduating class of 2021. Starting with, if you'll stand please, Jackson Forrest Adcock. Ethan Warren Camp. Ethan Chance Branning. And Lyndon Garland Copeland. Be seated. Please enjoy this slideshow of our graduates. think that is in order. This senior class does deserve a hand clap. This graduating class is the definition of talent. By themselves, they're incredibly talented, but together they make a team that is hard to match. What an impact this class has left in our school. It is a powerful thing to understand the importance of an education. Some do it at an early age, and some reach that point right before completing high school. Some reach that point well after high school, but everyone eventually comes to that realization and says, I should have paid attention in school. I'm proud to say that each one of these graduates has come to that realization, and they're committed to personal excellence that is required to succeed. I'm going to say a couple of comments about each graduate. Jackson Adcock. Jackson is a man to ride the river with. No matter what emotions come against him, he will stand by your side and defend you. He carries a heavy burden for those coming after him and makes sure that he shows them how to walk the right path. His singing, athletic, and spiritual talents are overwhelming, and when you put it all together, you're presented with a powerhouse. I love you, Jackson, and I'm going to miss your strength in the school. I appreciate you. Brother Ethan Camp. Ethan Camp is a fantastic young man. He always shows honesty and integrity. Everyone speaks of how hilarious he is, and I echo that sentiment. He is really funny. But he is funny because of his wit. His mind quickly creates the best comeback and joke. And the speed at which it is delivered so startles an individual that they can't help but laugh. Ethan is very talented as well. He's brilliant. There's so many things that he exclusively has to offer. And I love you, Ethan, and I'm ready to see you tackle life. I'm ready to see what you're going to do with it. Appreciate you. Ethan Branning. Ethan Branning is a great young man with the mind of a stockbroker and the integrity of a judge. He handles himself very diplomatically, and he treats people with great respect. His talents are endless, and none of them are being overlooked in his life. None of them's being overlooked. He is progressing each one. I have such respect for Ethan because he will always make the logical decision in every situation. I trust him, and I believe that there's no way for him to, he can't stop the greatness that's going to emerge out of him. And I love you, Ethan, and I'm going to miss your support in our school. Thank you. Lyndon Copeland. Lyndon is talented in so many aspects. The question is, what can Lyndon not accomplish? Anything you set before Lyndon will be conquered, and it'll be done in a quiet and unassuming manner. Just like his many other talents that sometimes go unnoticed. I feel as if he has a spiritual anointing that has not been fully realized. There's some special things that God is calling Lyndon to that we can't see. And I'm excited to see what God has in store for you, Lyndon. I love you, and I can't wait to see what happens in your life. I love each one of these graduates. They're special to me, and I will miss them greatly. But I am excited that they are stepping out to conquer the world. I've got a gift for you. I started this last year, and I would like to present it to you. This is something that means something to me and means something now more than it did when it was presented to me. My father gave this out to every graduate in our church. And I started this last year. And what happens is you have this on the wall and you don't think nothing about it. And I found myself recently looking up on that wall and reading this over and over. And it means more to me now. And I hope one day it's going to mean something to you. And that's why I give this gift out. It may not mean nothing now, but maybe you'll look back and read it one day. It says, Principles to Live by Brother Daniel Minna. If I am in a position, then I must stand for every principle God has given me. If I allow the position to destroy my principles, then the position has destroyed me. Because all that I am is a product of God-given principles. It is not the position that will save me, but the principles. If I lose the principles, I am bankrupt, even though I've been able to maintain the position. It is the principles that make the man, not the position. One cannot put on principles and then remove them as a garment at the first convenient occasion. If one does not maintain them, he will lose them. Man can remove my position, but no man can destroy my principles except myself. A man with principles makes a leader. A man without principles makes a politician. And this is something that I've read over and over. I've got a copy for you. I'm going to present that to you now. Maybe it'll be easier if I call you up, Brother Jackson Hadcock, Ethan Camp, Ethan Branning, Lyndon Copeland, and we have some graduate speeches that are prepared, and I know that some of them were prepared early and most of them were not, because that's how graduation speeches work. Maybe all of them were not. I'm not sure. That's usually how that works. But we want to hear from these graduates. They're going to give you a quick speech, starting with Brother Jackson Forrest Adcock.
Well, here we are. First and foremost, I want to thank Jesus Christ, because without him, I wouldn't be who I am today. Also want to thank my pastor and his family. Pastor, thank you for always telling me what I needed to hear and not what I wanted to hear. You and your family mean so much to me, and I don't know where I'd be without y'all. Mom and Dad, can you believe we're finally here? Mom, thank you for all the nights you stayed up late and helped me with my algebra, and for always reminding me that, son, it's right there in front of you. Just open your eyes and look. It's right there. Dad, thank you for the late nights of you running down to Dollar General to get stuff for a project that I procrastinated way too long for. I love y'all so much, and I couldn't have done it without y'all. To my dear siblings, Riley and Walker, thank y'all for being my friends, even when no one else, when I thought no one else was. Thank you for listening to me, and thank y'all for always being there for me. To my entire family, thank you for everything, from signing me out early to go hunting on afternoons, and to bringing me my lunch when I forgot it at home. And if I had to say something about every teacher that I've had through the years, we'd be here until tomorrow. So just know that if you've taught me or had me in your class, you mean the world to me, and I don't know where I'd be without you, and I love you for that. This is a sad moment for me, not only because I'm graduating from high school, but because I'm also graduating from Royal Student Ministries, which is my youth group. To every youth staff I've ever had, thank you for everything you've done for me. Thank you for believing in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. I'm forever grateful for you, and I thank you. And finally, to my classmates, boys, we finally made it. We've been through it all together. From us sitting around those tables as kindergartners with red Kool-Aid stains all over our dress shirts, to finishing our last test and walking out of the school all at the same time. Camp, thank you for always being that little bundle of joy. When you walk in the room, it immediately lights up. Thank you for always having something funny and nice to say and making me laugh whenever I was having a bad day. I love you, man. Brandon, thank you for always being consistent and keeping us on our toes. There's been several days where we come in, or the day before, and didn't know we had a quiz the next day, and we say, hey, we've got a quiz and we've got a test. Thank you for just keeping me on my toes at times whenever I was too busy off doing my own thing. Lyndon, you are the sole reason that I made it through pre-calculus this year. On a serious note, thank you for everything you've done for me. Thank you for being my friend. And I can say that about all of y'all, but thank you for keeping me competitive in just about everything I do. And I love y'all. We've done everything. We've done it all together. We've cried together. We've laughed together. We've prayed together. And I love y'all. And if I had to say anything to my student body and my fellow seniors, it would be chase your dreams. But if you can't chase your dreams and chase God at the same time, it's not a dream worth chasing. Thank y'all.
Ethan Warren Camp. Come on.
Good afternoon. I want to start by, first of all, thanking Jesus Christ for allowing me to be here. I'd also like to thank all of you for coming to help me and my classmates celebrate this great day. I'd like to thank my teachers, Sister Megan, for not losing your cool when I tended to talk a little too much. And Sister Lachey for always having something borderline nice to say. To my principal, Brother Nick, thank you for being there and for telling me what I needed to do, not what I wanted to do. I love you. To my former principal, Brother Jason Davidson, thank you for consistently calling me into your office to tell me that you would be on my end like white on rice if I did not stop scoring violations. To my pastor, Brother Copeland, I look up to you in so many ways, and I want to build my life just like yours. Thank you for the burden you have for this school and for the burden you have for our church. I love you. To my parents, Dad, thanks for always being there when I needed you. Mom, thank you for cramming Algebra 2 down my throat when I didn't want to do it. To my student body, so now we're off to pursue our dreams and do what we've been planning our life to do. But you still have a couple more years. And I tell you to make the most of it, because it's going to fly by a lot sooner than you think. To my classmates, you all help me in so many ways. You're all my friends, and I'm glad to call you that. I'll leave you with a quote, because that's what you're supposed to do, the graduation speeches. So, even though you're on the right track, you'll still get ran over if you don't start moving.
Our salutatorian, Ethan Chance Branning.
Good evening and welcome to our graduation ceremony, just like everyone else has already said. I want to thank all of my friends and family for coming out to celebrate this special time. Well, boys, this is the day we've always dreamed of, and it's here. Powerful. Now, I'm going to do something a little different. This is generally where I would say all of my thank yous to my pastor, to my principal, Brother Nick, to all of my great and wonderful teachers. But I can't do that tonight. I simply don't have the words to say thank you. The thank yous aren't enough for what you've put into me over these last several years. Sure, I've learned the math, or some of it. You know. I've learned the English and even some of the physics, Sister Megan, that I thought was a little unnecessary. But yes, the academics are very important. But you teachers have taught me things that are so much more valuable. You've taught me how to stay close to God when times get rough. You've taught me honesty is the best policy. You've helped me by giving me the right tools for the path that is before me. Thank you is not adequate for what you have put into me. And the only way I know how to express my gratitude is through my actions. By giving back to these young ones the same way y'all gave to me. For all the sacrifices y'all gave for me, I want to do the same for my fellow classmates. For all the kindness, love, mercy, and even some second chances, I want to give them all back to them. Now to my classmates, fellow seniors. We're returning to the next chapter in our lives. Big decisions are around the corner. What college we're going to go to, what career we're going to pursue, and on it goes. But let's not forget where our help comes from, the Word of God. We've quoted it every morning for the last 12 to 13 years. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. I will hide its word in my heart that I might not sin against God. Let's never forget where our help comes. Thank you all so much.
Lyndon Garland Copeland, our valedictorian.
Good evening, everyone. I would first off like to say, like all of the other graduates, that I give all glory and all honor to God. He is the sole purpose, along with many others, but the sole purpose that I'm here standing today. From the bottom of my heart, I would like to say thank you to every friend and every relative. And if you're not kin to me, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. A wise man once said, and you all remember this, you're going to look up one day, and it's going to be time for you to receive a diploma. That wise man was Brother Jason Davidson. If you attend in school at PGCA, you've heard him say that once or twice. To my mother, seems like just yesterday, you were dressing me for the first time for school. You were putting food into my lunchbox for the first time. It's like that old saying, time's real fun when you're having flies. To my sister Lauren, thank you for answering all my calls at any given time, in the night or in the day, just to help me with algebra or geometry or any other academics. To my sister Lexi, thank you for bringing me lunch whenever I forgot mine at home, which is very often. Thank you for signing me out, which was very often. To my cousins Savannah and Olivia, my biggest fan club, But no matter how old I thought I was, they always humbled me and showed me how young I was by calling me words like Annie or Lenny, because they couldn't call me by my real name. Or they would just simply talk to me in a very high-pitched tone, as if I was an infant. I love y'all. And I think I've just recently become a coffee drinker, and this past year, our day was greased and smoothed and made a lot better by going to the coffee shop to hang out with Autumn Walters. I believe that it was a true challenge to put up with all of our jokes and all of our immaturity day in and day out, but she did it with a smile. Thank you. I'm sorry, just 5 more minutes. Just bear with me. With that being said, Pastor Copeland. I think when I say this, I speak for the entirety of this room and the entirety of the school, that you are 100% the best pastor, the best leader that we could have ever asked for. When you come to Sebastopol, Mississippi, which was before my time, you changed this little small town for which I believe will be the rest of eternity. I'm so honored to live and to be in this church under your leadership, not only as my pastor, but as my uncle. I love you. To Brother Ryan Brister, I appreciate you taking us as such young kids who were distracted by all kinds of toys or sports and instilling us Christian values at a young age. When it was really hard, it's really hard to keep kids' attention, especially with the Bible at such a young age, but you did it with greatness, and I love you for that. All the Thursday talks we had in the coffee shop, I love it. Brother Jason Davidson, you were my principal for most of my school career. Thank you for always seeing the positive in me and the positive in everybody else, even when I didn't see the positive. In any situation I brought to you, you said, well, let's look at it this way. And I appreciate that. Thank you for keeping our PE and recess time fun and exciting by walking through while we're playing basketball and saying, give me a shot, give me one more shot. That really brightened my day up. Prayer. Prayer is one of the most powerful things that any person can do. And with that being said, Sister David Davidson, Sister Nona Davidson, Sister Peggy Branning, and Sister Norma Bailey, I cannot begin to express my deep gratitude for all the prayers and the encouraging words that have been prayed or have been told to me throughout my years. Finally, my dad. Thank you for teaching me about life. Thank you for teaching me true values and true morals. Thank you for not being afraid to get on to me whenever I was doing something wrong, like holding the flashlight in the wrong spot while you're fixing the car. Lastly, I would like to say thank you to all the teachers that I've had, all the way up from Sister Glenda Val, even though she was my Sunday school teacher, all the way up to Sister Megan, which is my latest teacher. I appreciate the time and effort y'all put into my life. Sister Megan, I've never met a person who has wanted to see somebody succeed more than you. Well, graduates, this is what we've been waiting for ever since we started school. We thought that if we could just make it to this day, life would be easy. We thought that if we could make it to this day, we could really start living life. But the truth is that we just started living it. The world would try to tell you that you need to claw your way to the top, step on whoever you have to step on, say what you have to say to get to the top, to get to the prize. Which the prize for the world is materialistic things. But we know, as Christians, that the prize is heaven. Colossians 3:2 says, set your affection on things above, not on things on this earth. God bless.
I have a couple of things I need to present quickly. I want to first say, this has not been mentioned, but the grade averages of these 4 young men for 4 years, all 4 of them are within 1.5 points. And so, as you look up here and you see that you go to a graduation, you see valedictorian, salutatorian. These young men were all within literally a point and a half for 4 years. Every single one of them. Some of them are 0.1. I had to do a bunch of math to figure this all out. But I want to tell you thank you for understanding that it was important. Thank you for understanding and giving of yourself. Because this is a sharp class right here. It is, and I'm proud of you. I have a couple of scholarships to give out. First is a salutatorian scholarship on behalf of East Central Community College, and this goes to Ethan Chance Branning. All right, and then I have a valedictorian scholarship on behalf of East Central Community College. This goes to Lyndon Garland Copeland. All right, at this time we would like to present the diplomas, and I'm going to come down here and present those to the seniors, starting with Jackson Forrest Adcock. Ethan Warren Camp. Ethan Chance Branning. Lyndon Garland Copeland. And we are privileged today to have our pastor, Reverend Mark Copeland, here to speak to us. This is always the choice of the seniors. Every year it's amazing. It's like they feel like they hadn't heard enough. And I feel the same way. It has so much honor among this city and this town. And I echo that. Thank you for being real, for being a pastor that preaches to us and teaches to us. And I want you to know from this school and these young people that you're their first pick. You're their first pick speaker. And we're going to hear from him today. I introduce to you Pastor Mark Copeland.
Thank you. And Brother Cardwell done a great job tonight. I have a couple of quick comments before I get started. I want to start by saying welcome to all the family and friends that are here for the graduates. I know it means so much to them for you to be here, and we thank you for that. And then secondly, I want to say how grateful I am for this great school. It's not just a school, it's a first-class school and a first-class operation. It's not been without its problems and its situations. You always have that. But it is a first-class act, and they do things first class. We've got great teachers, great staff, and always had great principals and leaders. And Brother Cardwell, you're no exception to that. Thank you for doing such a great job leading this school, working with these kids. I'm very, very grateful to you. To our school board, thank you so much for having a heart for the school, for giving to the school, and then to the school staff. what a great job our teachers are doing and have done. They've got their heart in what they're doing, and we're so very grateful to every staff member. Now, I told Lyndon, I said, y'all don't have to ask me. You're not going to hurt my feelings if you ask someone else to speak. I speak a lot. So I'm going to be here. I'm going to be with you, but you don't have to ask me to speak at the graduation. But that's what they've wanted. So I'm coming back for about the 10th year in a row with the exact same address to the graduates as I have given it every other year. And the reason why is because there's not a better message to the graduates than the one that I'm going to give. And so I want to be very quick. 5 more minutes, Lyndon. But I will be very quick with your time. If they would help me out, I want you to see these scriptures that I'm going to put on the screen. So I want to go to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 2. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 2. I'm going to read 3 passages out of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 2. I want to say that Brother Nicholas Cardwell and a couple of the graduates actually was coming right down the same principle of what I'm going to talk to you about tonight. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Can we drop down to verse 12, same chapter, Deuteronomy 28 and verse 12. Deuteronomy 28 and 12, and while they're going there, well, there it is. And the Lord shall open unto thee his good treasure, the heaven, to give the rain upon thy land in his season, and to bless all the work of thine hand, and thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. Thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. You're going to be the lender and not the borrower. Deuteronomy 28 and 19. Drop right down to the 19th verse. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out. That's not what I want. I don't want to be cursed. You see, if you listen to the voice of the Lord, you're going to get a blessing. If you don't listen to the voice of God, you're going to be cursed. Which one do you want? Do you want God for you, or do you want God against you? I think I know which one you want. I think I know what the answer is. 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 6. 1 Peter, the 5th chapter and the 6th verse. And while you're going there, I want to draw your attention to the fact that in Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 2, the Bible tells us that all of these blessings shall overtake you. In other words, if you get it right, you don't have to chase blessings. They'll chase you. I'm going to say that again. I don't know if y'all got that or not. If you get the plan right, you don't have to chase blessings. Blessings will overtake you. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time. One last verse. Luke chapter 14. Actually, there's 2 verses here. Luke chapter 14, verses 10 and 11. I want to talk to you for just a few minutes, and it's going to be completely opposite of what you're going to hear at any other graduation probably anywhere in the world. But when thou art bidden, go and sit down in the lowest room, that when he that bade thee cometh, he may say unto thee, Friend, go up higher. Then shalt thou have worship in the presence of them that sit at meat with thee. Verse 11, For whosoever exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humble himself shall be exalted. This is not what they're hearing at graduations all across America. The Bible's being left out. In fact, the Bible's being purposely taken out. And the more they take the Bible out and the more they move away from the Word of God, the more mental illness rises in the United States of America. The more that they move away from God's principles, the more people are put on Zoloft and Xanax, and they're unhappy, and they're miserable. Because there's only one way to happiness. Only one way. And that's to follow carefully the plan of your Creator. One of the biggest issues that anyone has is when they take an item back to the manufacturer. Whether it's a car or a lawnmower or whatever the situation is, a computer, and you take it back to the manufacturer and you say, I'm bringing this back because it's not working properly. And many, many times the answer is, you're not using it according to the way it was created to be used. Therefore, your warranty is not good. I wonder how many of us are not using our minds and our bodies the way it was intended to be used. Therefore, we void our warranty. We have a book of 66 books that tell us how we're supposed to live our lives. And if we do, he said, let me tell you, this is what's going to happen. If you'll obey my word, blessings will come on you and overtake you. But here's the number one principle. Humble yourselves before the Lord. You see, all over the nation, graduates are being told, get out there and take the world by the tail. The world is your oyster. You can have anything you want. Lift yourself up, get it, grab a hold of it, take it before someone else does. However you have to get there. But let me tell you that most things in life, the knee-jerk reaction is what destroys you. The knee-jerk reaction is what causes the problem. You're going to learn in driving. You're going to learn in driving, if you haven't already, that when you go into a skid, you take your foot off the brake. Many times if a vehicle is fishtailing or it's hydroplaning, they will tell you, instead of hitting the brakes, you actually take your foot off the brake and in some cases accelerate. That's not the knee-jerk reaction. The knee-jerk reaction is to stand up on the brakes, which only causes a bigger issue. The knee-jerk reaction when a car goes into a spin is to turn out of the spin, which flips the car completely upside down. And you have to fight yourself to say, that's not what I'm supposed to do, and turn into the spin. Because the natural reaction is to try to resist the spin. The natural reaction today is for each and every one of you to get caught up in yourself. I mean, we're having parties to honor you. We're having slideshows to honor you. We're getting up here and we're saying all kind of complimentary things about you. And if you believe all this, you're in trouble. You are great. You're great, young people. I could take time to talk about each and every one of you individually, because most of you I've pastored, if not from your birth, from just toddlers, very young kids. And I love each and every one of you individually, but I love you enough to tell you the truth at your graduation. Not what's causing the insanity of our nation. And that's everyone trying to get to the top of the pile. I'm telling you, somewhere you're going to run into someone that's sharper than you, smarter than you, faster than you. But I'm going to tell you what you can't find is someone that is more true to God than you, if you'll do it with all of your heart. And I'm telling you, if God exalts you, no man can abase you. If God sets you up, no man can bring you down. Several hundred years ago, a guy by the name of Ptolemy had convinced the world. Ptolemy had convinced the world that the earth was the center of the universe. He convinced the world that the earth was somehow stable, it was anchored. And all of the rest of the stars and the planets circled around the earth. And the earth was stable. It was the rock of Gibraltar. It was unmovable. The whole world believed this. The church world taught this. But along came a guy named Nicholas Copernicus. And Copernicus started asking questions that had him thrown in jail. The church, of all things, imprisoned him. Because Copernicus started asking questions like, if the earth is not revolving, if it's not turning, how do we have seasons? They could not answer his questions, so they shut him up. He continued to ask these questions until he was completely ridiculed, imprisoned, and no one would listen to him until years later someone said, you know what? I think Copernicus might have been right. Here's what Copernicus said. Copernicus said, the sun is the center of the universe. And we're just one small planet of many that circle the sun, but it's at the center. I want to tell you the same thing today. I want to tell you that you're not the center of the universe. If you try to leave here today and be the center of the universe with 7 billion other people that's also trying to be the center of the universe, you're going to have trouble in your marriage because she thinks she's the center of the universe too. And you're going to have trouble on your job because everybody you work with, they're trying to get to the top too. Everywhere you go is going to be noisy and confusion. It's what drives the problem of our day. Everyone thinks that they're the one. They got to be the prettiest. They got to be the smartest. They got to be the top. I'm sorry if this is not all right. It's all I got tonight. The reason most marriages are destroyed is because you have two very selfish people that both of them think that the universe circles them. Everybody wants what they want out of the marriage. Everybody wants what they want off the job. Everybody wants what they're supposed to have. Everybody's trying to get what rightfully belongs to them. And let me tell you, if an orchestra operated like this, can you imagine? Can you imagine the orchestra beginning and someone on the flute continues to try to play louder than the piccolo? Can you imagine the tuba section says, we got the biggest instruments. Surely we're the ones that's supposed to be the center of the attention. And so somebody on the tuba starts playing the tuba as loud as they can because they want everyone to look at them, because surely as big as the instrument is, it should be the center of attention. Can you imagine when someone on the trumpet comes out of the orchestra and walks down and just rudely pushes the conductor off of his box and climbs up on the box because the trumpet's the loudest instrument? Oh, but we hadn't forgotten about the drums. I've been pastoring long enough to know in most churches the drummer thinks he's supposed to be the loudest. That's why we finally put them in a box and put a volume control on them. I'm almost done. 5 more minutes. I'm trying to be real sincere with you when I tell you that's the problem of mental illness, not just in the United States of America, but across the world. Is everyone has been told when they graduated, you're the man, you're the woman. Go out there and take the world for yourself. They go into a marriage thinking that their spouse is there to please them. And they can't understand why. They don't realize that the spouse is not there to please them. The spouse is there to teach them how to forgive and teach them how to be sweet. Really, the reason God organized marriage is to teach each other about relationships so that we can be saved. But that's not what America thinks. America thinks when I get married, my wife is supposed to make me happy. And if she's not making me happy, surely something's wrong with her. I'm only supposed to work a job that makes me happy. And can I tell you, the pandemic has only made it worse. The pandemic's only made it worse. Is every time that you get off of a Zoom call or every time you walk out of a business, their last line when you walk out is, go be safe. Go be what? Go be safe? Is that what they told Lewis and Clark when they left to go across this country? Is that what they told Columbus when he discovered this country? Is that what they told the military men when they went into World War II? Is it what they told them when they went into the Korean conflict or Vietnam? Go be safe. We didn't get anywhere being safe. It's not about being safe. It's about doing what you were called to do in your place when you're supposed to be there. Show up and be who you are. And I'm telling you, God will lift you up. Each and every one of you guys, let me tell you, if you can only remember that we're not the center of the universe, but God is. God is the center of the universe. While all the rest of the planets circle the S-U-N, all people are supposed to circle the S-O-N. If you will put Him at the center and not yourself, if you will put Him at the center of your world, your only question needs to be, God, where do I fit in your orchestra? What instrument do I play? Because if God lifts you up, if God exalts you, no person can bring you down. No person can minimize your success. Like the moon, every Christian is supposed to gather up. That's what the moon does. The moon gathers up the light from the sun and then holds it so that when other people need it, it shines light in their darkness. If every one of us will circle the sun and make him the center of the universe and gather up the goodness and the death and the burial and the resurrection of our Savior and pour it into the dark places of other people's lives, God will lift you up and God will exalt you. And I'm telling you, if you've been raised in this school and raised in this church, you've watched people in this church that have lived by this principle, and it has worked, as God has blessed them to be a blessing to others. I've watched people in this church, I'm done, I've watched people in this church start with nothing and become very, very blessed in all kind of ways, financially and every other way. Finances is not the only measure of success. It is a measure of success, but it's not the only measure of success. I've watched in the 23 years that I've been here dozens and dozens of people go into business and become very successful in business by living by these principles. And that is, I'm not here to make myself the center and make myself the center of the universe. I'm here to make God the center of my life and let him lift me up so that I can be a blessing to other people and so that I can show other people what it means to have the blessing of favor of God in your life. I'm telling you, you can become very, very rich and very, very miserable if God's not the center. If God's not the center of your world, it does not matter how successful you will become. You'll never truly be able to enjoy it. Because it's peace and a proper alignment with God that brings real peace. That's my message to you. Make him the center. Everything else will be fine. And God's orchestra will be beautiful as everybody is in their right place. God bless you. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of the celebration.
Thank you so much, Pastor. They've been waiting for this moment. So we're going to have them stand. If everyone would stand, please. I present to you the graduated class of 2021. Yes, sir. Y'all can go. Y'all can go see. Yep, you're done. Uh-oh. Yes, sir. Welcome to join us next door. There's going to be a reception. If you'll go through these doors outside in the fellowship hall. If you're confused as to where to go, follow the crowd. There's tables that are decorated for each of our seniors, kindergarten graduates as well. They've worked hard on them. Make sure that you visit those. Thank you again for coming